If I send an email out, I could fly 2 ships simultaneously. One inverted over the other.
Happy time zone, everybody, and welcome back to Watching Now, where we are currently discussing Season 3 of Star Trek Strange New World. Today we are going to be talking about the finale that happened yesterday, titled New Life and New Civilizations. My name is Michelle,
I don't know.
otherwise known as Farmer Jane, and I will be hosting again today. Tim is hosting panels at his local Comic-Con, so he is not going to be able to attend today, which leaves Master Drew and myself to hold down the fort for the finale. How are you doing, Drew?
Good. I don't feel as important as Tim hosting Comic-Con panels, but, listen,
Right?
that's okay. We'll just hold down the fort. We'll just be over here, hanging out while he's doing important things with celebrities and,
That's okay.
and stuff. Whatever, Tim. Stop having fun. We're going to be over here talking Star Trek and wrapping up the season, lackluster season
and
chatter.
Not having mistakes to say Star Wars instead of Star Trek.
That's true. At least you have less editing for you.
Correct.
Yeah.
I do want to make it clear to our audience, as always, that there will be spoilers for the season. So, if you want to watch it without knowing anything, which I highly recommend, actually, I can't even read that. I don't think I recommend this season.
Ouch.
I don't know. I recommend, if you don't want to have any spoilers, then go off and watch it on your own.
That's a good segue to our sponsor this week, Paramount. Oh, they just canceled.
Hey!
Sorry, Paramount. No, I'm just playing.
We are dropped immediately. Okay, well, let's go with general reactions for the finale. Drew, you go first.
Not bad. I mean, I got a little. Listen, it worked. I got a little emotional. I thought the emotional part worked really well.
Yes, because everybody watches Star Trek for emotions.
Well, yeah, no, I hear you, but it's a successful piece of TV if I feel something, right? Whether that's
fair, yes,
in some sense of whether that's excitement or I get emotional or maybe hatred. I don't know, but it felt. I think overall it felt a little overstuffed. Like it felt like again. I think this season. The writing, I think every episode feels like they're trying to cram 3 episodes of television into 1 episode. So I think it's a problem for this season in general. The writing on the show, like I feel like the life of Pike and Batel could have just been one whole episode, right? Like it didn't need to be like a mini 10-minute arc,
true. Yeah.
Right? Or like the Kirk Spock thing could have been its whole episode. Like I feel like they keep trying to like shoehorn, or even the Vesda thing could have just been an episode on its own, right? Like not having the other things in it. So it's interesting how they're trying to weave everything together. I think in some ways it's successful, some ways not so much. But overall, I thought a good. I liked the way this season ended. It didn't end on like this incredible high note, but it also didn't end on like some bad cliffhanger. So I'm kind of okay with it. Right? I kind of feel like we're going to go into next season with like a clean slate, and I kind of, after this season, I'm ready for that clean slate. So you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm almost hopeful. Like I feel like, okay, cool. Like we did this, whatever this was, this season. Nice try, sure, and cool. We don't need to go in next season with like a cliffhanger and wrap up storylines. I feel like everything's kind of we ended it and now we can just move on, right? Like it's sort of with the story as a 5-year mission kind of vibe. So that's my general vibe of the ep. So
yeah, I think I agree with you. It was there, kind of ish. Contextually with the rest of the season, it had bits and pieces there. But to me, that's kind of a downside. Also, is you need contextually the rest of the season, which sometimes, most of the time, and what we talked about at the beginning of Star Trek is like, you normally don't really need to do that. It could be episodic. I don't know. Let's go ahead and get into it because it was pretty timey-wimey again. Like it was a really big callback to Through the Lens of Time, which was Pretty
Yeah.
cool Tesseract building this season. But I have to give it to you guys, you and Tim. I think specifically you called it that Gamble was going to be the big bad this season.
Wait, not season 2 episodes. He was a big bad out of 10. So
Fair.
I don't know if I called it, but it should have been a more of a. I would expected more of a through line there, but whatever. 2 out of 10 is, I guess, a big bad. I don't know.
He's a big bad.
Kinda. Yeah. He came back. I guess I called it. He would come back. I'll take that. I'll take that, internet.
Cloak.
Yeah, in a bad headdress. Like, bring back the creepy burnt out eyes thing. That was way more scarier.
So were they? I mean, we're just gonna jump right into it. Were they stabbing themselves in the eyes because he didn't have eyes?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm assuming.
I'm assuming so. I don't know what the stabbing in the eye. It was creepy as fuck.
That was a little intense.
That was pretty intense for Star Trek. That's where I give it I'm like, oh, okay, we're going there, Star Trek. That's cool. Stabbing
they
some
really
eyes.
Stabbed themselves in the eyeballs.
Yeah, I was like, all right, we're there. And then it was kind of interesting just to like wrap that like little nugget together at the end of this episode. Yeah, everybody back on whatever that name of that place is. I forget. Like it had like a funny name. Guy Gowan. Yeah, they're all fine. Everybody went back to normal. I'm like, do you not remember them stabbing their eyes out? I don't think they're back to normal. Do you have I guess you have eye regeneration or some shit.
I guess so.
Yeah, I guess you could just like medbay that shit. I don't know, but I felt like a pretty bad situation down there. That's not like now that we killed that guy, everything's back to normal. And I'm like, no, I think those people are fucked. I think they gouged their eyes out, and most of them died from blood loss. But I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe not. I'll give it to that planet. That is probably one of the coolest planets I've seen, and that's what I'm here for Strange New Worlds. Going to cool planets with fucking awesome, like diamond spire pyramid thing floating. I'm like, yes, Strange New Worlds. Bring me cool locations that I can nerd out on. Like that was a visual
that architecture was dope. And then it had the portal as like the elevator. That shit was cool.
It was cool. Like, listen, hats off this whole season. Hats off to the art department on Stranger Worlds.
Absolutely
crushing it. Fucking absolutely crushing it. Everything looked like costumes, design, the ships, like everything looks spot on, guys. Like you guys are crushing that. Writers, guys.
You mentioned.
Let's talk.
Excuse me. You're right though, but you mentioned. Gamble was only, basically in 2 episodes. So to me, it made
as a bad guy,
well, right. But to me, it made it feel like through the lens of time, maybe one other episode, and then this one was like their best ideas. But then they were just like, how about we do a murder mystery, and how about we do I don't know, whatever else they did, and let's do a documentary. And it's like, guys,
oh man. What if we could have that documentary episode back and like tie it, and then had like an episode that bridged like this episode and that like
totally you could do like the whole like Batel and what's his Pike right after through the lens of time. Figure all that out.
Like imagine like a cool episode where they had to like travel through different like ley lines and find artifacts to like defeat the bad guy or something like that, like a quest kind of vibe where like you brought in like the archaeologist boyfriend and he's like I'm on this planet and I'm deciphering like I don't know like kind of like what was that episode where Picard had to travel like all over the place and like look for like some like ancient device that could kill people with thought, right? I don't remember, but I mean like come on, like I feel like we could have more fun with this idea with the Vesda and this ancient evil, and it just kind of felt like, hey, we found it. 6 episodes later, we beat him. We're good. Bam!
Hey,
knock that one out of the park.
Can my next video game boss be like that?
Yeah, totally. This isn't Elden Ring. This is like Super Mario Brothers, yo.
You meet him at like a vendor place, and you're like, oh hey, and you battle him there, and then like I don't know, 3 hours later you beat him, and then it's like credits roll. Wait a minute. So anyway, the ley lines you mentioned, like I said, it was very timey-wimey, but kind of wish they would have mentioned the ley lines previously a little bit more, like dropped those breadcrumbs a little bit through the season to make it such a big like resolution in this episode, But we're going to get right kind of to the end of the episode with Captain Pike's kind of fate ish, with for lack of a better word, because we know his fate, like eventually. But now he's going to be alone for the rest of his life. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, Pike. I like this. This is the part of the storytelling. This is why one of the reasons I think Stranger Worlds works really well, which is because of Anson Mount. He's the heart of the show. I think he's the most charismatic character on the show. I think he's the reason I think this show exists because of what he did on Discovery. He was such a fan favorite. Yes. And so when we make him the central character of the show, which is what it should be, he's the captain, this show works a lot better. And so, and I like the fact that he's a tragic character, and I like when they lean into that. I like that the fact that he has there's a tragedy, he has a tragic fate, and there's something interesting pairing Batel with Batel, who also ends up having a tragic fate. There's a duality there that I kind of like, and the fact that they both had quote unquote like these destinies in a way, and she accepts it pretty willingly right off the bat, which was slightly strange, but I'm okay with. But
it was a huge logic jump.
Yeah, it was a bit. But just going back to Pike, I like how he continually struggle with this idea, right? It's so hard for him, and I like that. Like, because it would be hard for me too. He constantly thinks he's like, he even says lines like, I don't know, maybe it's different now the way I feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. There's moments when he's like accepts it, but then there's moments where he's like, maybe it's different now, because I have you. But it was kind of, there's something really sad about that, and I really like that, and I like the way this episode ended with that sort of him uncertain, not even able to say like his catchphrase, right? Like, I like this. I like what this episode was doing and the show does with Captain Pike. I just wish they leaned on it more often and leaned on him more often. I feel like this season too often he was like a side character. Actually, I feel like Kirk had more moments as
screen
Captain.
Time,
more screen time than he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Captain Pike had to like tone down his. I feel like he had to kind of tone down his charisma in some of the episodes this season.
Yeah, he was just kind of there to kind of like move the episode along, but not really be the central character, which is like, I guess my problem. Yeah, I'm not going to get it, but like I think that was a problem Discovery had too. Like in the opposite way, like I felt like it almost hyper focused too much on Michael Burnham's character, and I just didn't think she had. Not that nothing against the actor, I just don't think she was written in a way that she felt like more like an action star than like a captain, right? And so like it was sort of like she's off always doing her own thing, right? It always never felt like she was like part of the crew for half of the seasons,
right?
And I was like, why are we focusing so much on this person that's not really part of this group, right? Like I like let's move away from, I don't know, like I thought the show was more interesting when they focused on the I'm blanking on the name, but the second in command, the alien.
Right.
I'm blanking on his name, but I think this show has the opposite problem this season for Pike. Focus on Pike. He's the best part of the show. He's the reason we're here. He's the heart of the show in my mind. He's like the epitome of Starfleet, like in the sense that he's like such a Boy Scout. I don't know. I like when we deviate from that. I feel like the show's lesser for it.
Well, you make a good point because he is his appeal is his tragedy. His appeal is that he is a tragic character in all of Star Trek. Everybody just knows him as this tragic hero. And you're right. This finale did a really good job of kind of separating himself from being Starfleet versus actually having a personal life, and that's challenging. If we've mentioned it before, like as a military or paramilitary organization, it's hard to figure out a personal life if you have all of those demands on you all the time, especially as a pilot like he is. But
I guess that's Star Trek, though. It's like, happiness for Star Trek is sort of like going to warp 10. You can get there, but it's going to be brief, and you're probably going to mutate into like a salamander or something by the end of it, right? And you're going to like have salamander babies on a rogue planet with your captain.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Just Voyager stuff. But anyway.
Are you okay?
I had a stroke.
Okay. Well, but the very end where Captain Pike and Batel were doing their little I don't know, run through time. Was it as in? Do you think in their life living it were the years long, or was it as short a moment as we saw?
Man, yeah, that's a good. I had that thought too.
Yeah,
It's an interesting thing that happened. Like they're on the planet like Vesda, or not Vesda, but I forget the name
Gamble.
of the planet. Yeah, with
Oh,
Gamble.
yeah,
They're on the planet with the the vault that holds other people, and she's like about to battle, right? Like she's going into
yeah.
battle mode, or her hands start glowing, and then it like does this weird jump cut, and like there was no like turn. Like I wish you would like turned her head and looked at Pike and had this moment of like I need this to happen before I can go. Like there was a weird moment where like it was really jarring for the first 3 minutes when they went into that
It was,
montage,
yeah.
where I was like, what are we doing right now? Like, because if this is just like a 2 minute like I love you moment, I'm gonna be like I'm gonna scream at the television. But as it went on long enough where I was like, this is working.
Hmm.
But I did
I
have
agree
that
with that.
moment. I did have that moment where I was like, I don't know if this is actually like I lived a full life, and we're just seeing moments of it,
Right.
or he's just living out bits and pieces just to realize how good it would have been, or would have been, or
Yeah.
could have been, or really was. I don't know, but it worked really well. It was very effective. Both of those characters have really good like chemistry, and both of those actors have really good chemistry. And I don't know, I liked the setting and the
Hmm.
little nods. Like the apron was a nice touch. The dog and the
Hmm.
kid, and like seeing like the kid bring home a boyfriend and getting gay. Like I was just like, oh man, this like, especially if you have kids, this is
Yeah.
heartbreaking. You know what I'm saying? And in a way, because it is, you know where it's going and the tragedy. I was really starting to get like caught up. I almost wanted more, right? Like it was one of
Interesting.
those
Yeah.
things where I was like, keep this going. Like this is great. This is good storytelling. Like I said, I thought it could almost have been a whole episode, like what they did with Picard when he got trapped on that planet for like in that there was like a whole episode where he was like on a planet, lived an entire life, and
Oh, oh
he
yeah.
brought home a flute.
The vineyard and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, Voyager, or yeah, DS9 did one too, where like I forget, they lived like a whole lifetime on a planet, where that was like in a time bubble or something. I like those kind of things because it there's because of the tragedy of it. And I thought this was done really. It was really effective. It was shot really well, really beautiful.
Yeah.
That cabin vibe, so cool, really cool.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I thought it worked. It was very effective. I thought it worked really well. Now, I want to switch gears for a second because I'm interested to know what you thought about the mind meld perspective.
Mm,
So, I wasn't aware that mind melds meant mind control.
yeah, that was new to me too. I didn't
Yeah.
know they could quite. I didn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess. Sure. You know what? Like, I didn't know that you could bring someone back to life through a mind meld either, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, I guess the mind meld is like the magic of Star Trek. You could like put an entire person's consciousness into Bones in Star Trek 2 when he dies, and then resurrect Spock and
I mean, yeah, I guess.
put his mind back into his body from so like the mind meld is like this giant mystery we don't fucking know, I guess.
Correct.
So if they want to do this, I'm okay with it, but it was sort of like you could do that. Like I don't know why it's I have a less of a problem with this than I did with like Bones housing his entire memory of or consciousness in his body for an entire episode on the voyage home, or whatever. But whatever. I guess I'm here with it. But I guess I couldn't understand. They tried to explain it with time variance and solar wind, and it would never be precise. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure you can fucking link computers if your starships are close enough where it would be pretty fucking accurate. Like I didn't quite understand.
Yeah.
Like we've seen drones literally fly in the exact formations on our planet. You know what I'm saying? Like why do you need? I couldn't wrap my head around why you needed the mind meld. They're like, oh, this is even more responsive than whatever. I just didn't buy it.
So I have to bring up something that Jake and I were texting about because he was pretty upset that he's under the impression that this will minimize the effort it went into for Spock and Kirk to find that rapport that they had towards through all of the original series and then some, because it's instead of working on it and building towards it and building together, now it's just going to be like, oh, we mind melded that one mission a long time ago, and now we've just been like, and now are they stuck mind melded? Like, what does that, like, what?
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
But they seemed like that at the end of the episode. It was like,
they just shared memories so they could remember like their past.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you said that. I was not understanding that at all.
Yeah.
Got it.
They just could see each other's and be in their head.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah,
I was like, so they're just going to be mind melded until next season?
Yeah. I just to speak to your point of like, it kind of, I hear that argument where
I do.
Like,
I actually disagree with it. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. I actually kind of disagree with it, but I needed to bring it up because it's an opinion that's out there.
I hear that argument. I've come to terms with the fact that while they're attempting to be canon with the OG, it's not going to be canon with the OG, right? No. Because eventually they're going to launch Star Trek Enterprise or whatever they're going to call it, Star Trek, and with Kirk, and they're not going to just recreate the episode. It's going to be different, right? It's going to be different, right, guys? Yeah. So like, they're doing something different here, and I think we just have to accept that, like, they're building a bond, a relationship with Kirk and Spock here that's just different than what we might have put in our mind's eye or what we expected to see just based on TOS. I think we have to think that TOS is existed, and they'll probably keep nodding to it even when they do Star Trek, but it will just inherently be a different approach and a different style. So I'm kind of okay with it. I thought it was kind of, I thought they have good rapport. I like their on-screen banter. I think it works well. I'm kind of buying into it a bit more.
Same, yeah.
I guess they're doing it enough in enough little nods here and there every episode where I'm starting to be like, oh, okay, I'm in, yeah. So yeah, I don't really have as much of a problem with that as far as the canon relationship thing.
Yeah, that's fair. So Captain Pike Captain Kirk was it was pretty big in this one, I'm not gonna lie. The first scene when I saw Sam, I thought it was Captain Kirk, and then it went back to Captain Kirk, and I was like, wait a minute, those aren't the same people. Like, didn't they just have this conversation with this guy, and now it's Captain Kirk? Kirk?
When he picks up the
why though did Ortega's have to be part of that conversation? Did we just need a supervisor? Is that the problem?
I don't know. They're like, Ortega's, come sit down here. I don't know.
I just had to ask about that.
Yeah, she's like, we're gonna show her again away from the piloting ships. And she's, by the way, not angry for what happened that last episode.
But also, there's no fancy flying in this one, so she is unneeded.
Totally, yeah. Spock had to fly this time. That'll show you.
Okay, but what? Oh, duh. Never mind. So I wanted to talk about, and I don't remember the name of it. I should probably look it up. But where the little Tesseract building was, so it was a prison, like they mentioned, and then all of the spirits got released, and right before Batel transformed or whatnot. I thought those spirits looked pretty dope. They kind of looked Dementor-wise, and I just enjoyed that they were just creepy floating around everywhere.
Yeah. It was cool. Yeah, it was interesting here. I have two thoughts. I'm kind of glad they didn't do like big CG glowy arms battle, right? I kind of like that would have been hokey and not really Star Trek. But it was also felt rather very anticlimactic, right? In some weird, tragic way. I guess it felt appropriate, but at the same time, I don't know. I kind of wanted more. I don't know. It just felt a little like, okay, that's it. She just turned into she's like, no, and then that was it.
So that's
there was no like, I don't know.
That's what I felt about kind of the whole conversation with her being like, at first when they were standing around like this, the engineering or wherever they were, and then they were just kind of medical bay maybe, and they're just like, well, I'm not sure how to stop it, and she's like, it's me, I'm the reason, and I was like, wait a minute, that was such a fast like jump into
Yeah.
you have to. So I don't think I quite understand the whole effect before cause. Is that something that they caused because they were in the Tesseract, or would that have been their like destiny
Yeah, it's
if they
basically
hadn't
like she's
hit?
she's always been that. So they experienced in that vault on, like, I think it's like Vidia 4 or something. Uh, in the vault, like the crystalline statue thing, that was
Yeah,
always her. And so we were
right.
just watching her get to that point. So we're now, so the effect had already happened. Now we're watching
I know,
cause.
but how?
They don't, we don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, well, yeah,
That's.
no,
I
no one
actually think that
knows.
was the best answer I could have gotten.
Yeah, yeah, no, no. If you think too hard about it, you're just gonna. This is something they tried to even explain it on the earlier, I think, episode 5, where they're in the vault, where it's like Spock cuts himself, and
Right.
then like he didn't see, or he sees the cut, but then he cuts himself later, right? So that was their sort of way of nodding, like, hey, in this species, this world, this intelligence, this technology has the ability to have cause can happen, or effect can happen before cause, right? So
Interesting.
that's all we need to know, right? Like, if we try to really like physics and understand, like, I don't think anybody really, maybe we should have a physicist on and they can explain how that might
Don't
work. I
talk
don't
about
fucking
Fight
know.
Club, and we
Yeah,
won't worry
I
about Fight
guess.
Club. Got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
um yeah. Yeah, I guess I think I like Star Trek best when, again, I go back to when they kind of work together to solve the problem with technology, I guess, in a weird way. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of wish there was like some sort of like, well, if the Enterprise can like bombard that chamber with anti-gravity waves while Batel is doing her thing. I don't know, like,
Right.
it just felt like Batel like waved her hand, I'm the cosmic protector, and like that was it. Like, I don't like, I felt like there needed to be a little bit more like, hey, I need help. Like, she was like, no, I have love and I defeat you. And I'm like, that works, I
So
guess.
it is Harry Potter.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I guess, right? It kind of felt a little anti Star Trek. Not
A
anti Star
little.
Trek. I like the hopefulness of Star Trek, and I like love being a part of it. I just want a little bit more like the teamwork and the science and like the
I love
problem
that.
solving. Yeah,
But I
yeah.
also love science.
I know. Why can't
Yeah.
we have both?
So it
But
does,
I
the way it ended, I agree with what you said earlier of how it emotionally not power. Wow, let me start again. Emotionally powerful it was, and I really appreciated Una Chen Riley sitting next to Pike, just being
mm,
there. They're
yeah,
pouring whiskeys. He's melancholy, but they're not even speaking, and she's just there. And I think that's something that hopefully should come back later. For not necessarily even a mention of it, but just say, hey, you remember, like, I was here because I'm supposed to be, and like I love you, and like I don't know. I just feel like as coworkers, that should be something that's remembered.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. That scene was really nice. And along with the like the kind of montage that was happening
Yeah,
throughout that scene, I thought they were playing a, is that like a Pixies song? What they were
yeah, it
playing
was a sad song. I don't remember what it was.
it was like a really a more modern. It felt a little out of place for Star Trek. We don't
Hmm.
typically get like modern pop culture music in Star Trek. So I was kind of like, oh, interesting, but it was a really good choice of track. I don't know. I'm on the fence on the music, but I yeah, I'm on the fence because it starts to feel like an episode of like, I don't know, Modern Family or something, or like,
Right,
or you know, where you're like an
goofy
ABC drama.
montage.
Yeah, yeah, like exactly, montage with music, like something that you'd see on like Dawson's Creek or something. I don't know,
Rocky.
um, but it worked really well, and it was a really nice track. I don't know, so I guess I hope they don't do it all the time, but it worked really well for that scene. It was a great scene with
Well, so I
Una
want to
and
ask, because I've asked this for the previous few episodes, but what do you think this episode brings to the story, other than the obvious of the, you know, um, consolidation essentially of just Captain Pike? But what do you think this episode brings to the story as a season?
I thought here I'll give I said at the beginning I'll give the episode this it ends the episode in a really kind of clean slate.
Yeah.
It doesn't have we're not left with sort of like what if that what's going to happen to that person or you know like there's no like storyline that I feel like other than Corby, I guess kind of like going off to another
Yeah.
archaeological dig, which we all know where that's going to go.
Yeah.
He's going to go crazy and do crazy things. But I kind of like I think he's gone for a while. Let's get rid of Corby. Batel's gone, right? We're kind of back to the core crew, right? Ortega's brother's probably like hopefully on a starbase. Fired for making bad videos. Yeah, like I hope we're in my mind I'm like we're back to the core bridge crew, and that felt right. And I liked the sort of interesting somber note that it kind of somber but hopeful, this hopefulness that like, hey, Corby gave us all these new planets we can go and explore. Awesome. Right? Like that's why we're here, that's why we start tracking. So it kind of felt like a really good ending, a wrap up, a season wrap up. Like that felt like we put a bow on this and tied it, and it felt good. I enjoyed it. So
I agree with that. And just to maintain consistency of dislikes, I guess. Captain Kirk, when Captain Pike was talking to Captain Kirk before the Farragut got there, and he was like, "What does your captain think?" And he was just like, "She's fine." I was like, that's assuming that you guys have talked about it previously to this. But this conversation means that you might not have, and you definitely need to go ask her.
yeah, yeah, that was a weird. I agree. That felt strange. They kind of like. She's like, well, she owes us one. You know, she owes the Enterprise one because we saved
her life.
I was like, okay, but yeah, it's weird that we keep talking to Kirk, who's the second in command, and not like the captain when we're talking about like,
even just
bring the whole ship and your crew to this dangerous mission. Nah, I feel like that's a conversation with captain to captain, not captain.
Right,
to Kirk.
we're not following protocol here.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It felt a little like I don't mind if the captain was there with Kirk and Kirk
Correct.
is having, but it felt weird that they were having like a sidebar conversation like
He's
that.
like, meh.
But yeah. It's just another reason where they feel like they're forcing more screen time with Kirk when, we get it. You know, like you don't need to. You know, like just those moments. Like I almost, no offense, I think I do like the Spock Kirk thing. I didn't mind that so much. Although again, I gave my reasons why I don't think they needed to do the mind meld,
right.
like for ship to ship communication and maneuvers and firing phasers. I don't get it. But I would like to see. I feel like there's other starships out there other than the Farragut. And it'd be nice if they called another star. Like I kind of want to see more Star Trek ships and other captains and other people that we could be introduced to, and maybe another Constitution class shows up. I don't know. Fuck, maybe it's a like I don't know, like something. I want more ships. Show me more Star Trek ships. Star Trek. I don't even bring a fucking Klingon. I don't give a shit. Bring me more goddamn ships on Star Trek. More ship to ship things. More firing of phasers. What is going on? I want more Star Trek shit. Yeah, I guess I get a little angry because their space porn is so good on this show.
It really
everything
is.
Looks so great. Yeah. But it's just like I feel like it's just always just the Enterprise and the Farragut. It's like we already built the Farragut in 3D model. We're going to use that in every episode. And there's no other ship within 800,000 light years than the Farragut. It's just the Enterprise and the Farragut. They're next to each other. They're like little buddies. They just fly wherever they go. I don't know.
Also, and this might be a dumb question, but I feel like a larger ship is going to have a larger phaser power. So the Farragut's decently smaller than the Enterprise, so I'm not actually sure how that scientifically worked, because it was a lesser powered phaser than with the Enterprise, and it was not equal, even though Mr. Alien Mind-meld, sir, when everything was equal?
Yeah. I could explain that away, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, the powerfulness of a ship doesn't make the phaser more powerful. Like
No,
it's either
that's not what I think. I just think there's more room
yeah.
for the power.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Whether it's like a type two phaser or type, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
at that era, I think all the phasers were pretty much equal. I think it's just, and they even try to explain it's like if the Enterprise fired two phaser banks at once, right? Like it wouldn't equal. It had to be because I don't know. They kind of explained it somewhat scientifically, and I was kind of like, whatever, I buy that. Like they jargon that. They jargon that. All right, cool. We need another ship. I'm okay with that. I just didn't understand why they needed to mind meld to sync formation. Like, come on. Like, literally, our drones in 20th century can fucking sync formation. We can make whole like things dancing around in the sky with drones that like can like coordinate with each other and have lights that blink on at the exact same fucking time. I think we can light fire phasers at the same time. I don't get it. I didn't get that.
Yeah, because you can even set a timer.
Yeah, whatever. You can do whatever you want. Like you can just say at this moment, fire phasers. I think the ships would have figured that out. I don't know.
I kind of agree with you, actually.
Yeah. I couldn't. My suspension of disbelief just failed me there. Like I couldn't handle it.
I don't know. My suspension of disbelief came with like that the Farragut had to save the day. Like, really? The Farragut had to save the day? You guys can't. You're the Enterprise. You can't just do it.
Yeah.
Do stuff.
I do. I think we do need the Mbenga action hero spinoff. That guy is just a badass. I'm sorry. He walks up, he's like, I'm going in this portal, and then he's like fighting the Vesda like hand to hand and like moves him into that other thing. Like I'm like, come on. Like Mbenga's like just basically the hero we all want and need. Like if I need it,
Star Trek?
pretty much, and he's a medical officer. I'm like, really? This guy's the fucking hero of Eddie stuff. Like, if you're to make like a dream team, like Mbenga's on my ship. Like, I don't care because that dude can save people, but also murder like 30 dudes. Like, if our ship gets invaded, he's basically gonna save the day every episode. He's like, that's just the way I feel about Mbenga. He's. I did think there was an interesting. There was another Doctor Who callback where. The engineer Pelia, she says that she like used to travel with or hang out with a time traveling doctor. Like it was like a really quick whip.
Yes.
Back in her day, it was like
and
everybody
she
just kind of
like paused on it, and everybody was like,
yeah. So it's like the second Doctor Who thing because there was like a screenshot of like a TARDIS like in that one episode where it was like
they were in the belly of the beast.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting that there's a lot of Doctor Who callbacks. I guess like the showrunners are friends and.
That makes sense.
I was reading a little bit about it. They've like collaborated.
Okay.
On like certain like science fiction day or some shit where they've done dual posts and stuff like that.
Is there Star Trek in Doctor Who?
I think Doctor Who could merge into Star Trek. I don't think Star Trek could merge into Doctor Who. I think it would have to be like Doctor Who shows up in a Star Trek episode. I don't think Star Trek would ever show up in Doctor Who. I think
even just like but they could even do like a picture of the Enterprise somewhere or something.
Yeah, I think in this last season, I think the Doctor mentions Star Trek as a show. Like I think he mentions it as like an off cuff. Oh, it's not like that Star Trek show. You know, like as a thing, like a thing to explain like why he's doing it his way.
Yeah.
But not quite as blatant as like Pelia saying, I used to hang out with the fucking Doctor, right? Like that's basically what she said. You're like, oh, okay, wow.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's a spinoff, I guess, that we need to have. But yeah, no, it was just interesting little.
I don't think we need anything from Pelia, I'm not going to lie.
She's just. Totally.
I'm not a huge fan. I don't think we really need her to be anymore around.
She's like comic relief. That's really all she's there for.
Yeah.
100%. She's the comic relief of the show. She's the same, like Discovery had that other comic comedian playing.
Comic median?
Comedian. Comic
I
median.
thought you said a comic median.
Did I really?
Like,
shit.
That's not the word for it.
Wow. It's that late in the day for me. Yeah, no, I'm blanking on her name. She's like a comedian, and she was an engineer too, like on
Okay.
Discovery. Um, yeah, I don't know why they feel like they need these like plucky, comedic,
I,
quirky thing. Like I just write funny lines for the other cast, like the
yeah.
cast, so we can like them more.
So what I'd
I
like to
I get it.
do, yeah, go ahead.
No, but I did like the one funny thing I did like was when Scotty shows up in his Scottish uniform,
That
dress
was great.
uniform. That was pretty good, and everybody because they did the same thing with Uhura in season
Yes.
one, I think, and that was a
Oh,
nice call. That was a nice callback to the
yeah.
earlier episodes. Plus, the whole Scottish like kilt and everything
I
was
loved
on
like
point.
recurring, not dad jokes, but like recurring jokes against the crew. That's fun that came
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
When I started, this is super random. When I started in a kitchen, one of my first jobs was to go find the prosciutto stretcher.
Oh
Didn't know
shit,
that
really?
wasn't a thing. So, yeah.
Gotta stretch.
I
Gotta
Yep. I feel for Scotty on that one. Um, so it took me a while. Anyway, what we're gonna do is the same thing we did for Wednesday, actually. So yes. So what we did was we ranked the final part, and then we ranked the whole season as a whole. So what I'd
Mm,
like to do is just rank the episode first, and then rank
okay.
the season as a whole.
All right. All right. I'm gonna go first, I guess.
Yeah, you're gonna go first.
Son of
Sorry.
a. Put
I'll
me
just stare
on
at
the
you and see if
spot.
that.
I can't even think about it. Yeah. I'll wait. Episode first and then season. Is that
Yes.
or season and then episode?
Episode and then season.
All right. Episode. I'll give this. I'll give this an 8. The emotional Batel Pike thing made this really work for me. That was a really well shot, really touching, really great acting, great chemistry. Really hit the touchy feelies for me. Um, I thought that elevated. Otherwise, this was kind of a meh final
Yeah.
season. It definitely isn't up there with like Best of Both Worlds or anything like that. Like there's way better Star Trek.
Homogeny or whatever.
Yeah, Star Trek ending season finales and seasons, and especially for a season 3, you kind of this is when the show should be hitting its stride, and
Right.
this felt like a step back. So, but I'll give this episode a pretty high mark of 8, and then I'll give the season. I'm gonna give the season like a 6.5. It kind of faltered
Well, that's much
quite
higher than I expected.
quite a bit for me. Listen, it's still Star Trek. I still love it. I'll still probably go back and fucking watch it. So it's hard for me to hate on Star Trek too much. For as off as it might be, I'm still gonna I'm gonna go back and watch this and have a big smile on my face because we're watching ships, the Enterprise, and ships and phasers and transporters and I don't know. I just nerd out over it. So it's really hard for me to hate on it too much. I'm critical, but it's all the criticism comes from love. Just because I want this show to be great because I want more people to like Star Trek and I want them to continue making Star Trek. So that's why I'm critical, not because I think people aren't working hard to make a good show. I think they are.
Yeah.
I just want them to constantly make a better show so that we can continue to make Star Trek out and make great episodes and continue to do great TV and so that Star Trek I can show my kid when he's older Star Trek and stuff like that. So yeah. So my criticism comes from the heart. I don't mean to be bad on it. I wish this season was a little bit stronger. It's not. It's probably the worst of the 3 seasons so far. Unfortunately, there are a few standouts that are really strong, but episodes. But overall, this season probably not my favorite.
I agree with you. I think that's really valid to say, and I also think it's important to say because, um, last podcast episode, I kind of silenced the room and dislike a couple of times, and I agree with you 100%, and you know that, but I also am.
Yeah.
My criticism is because I love it and I want it to be better and I want it to be good, and because I have such a history with Star Trek and I've mentioned it, sharing it with my closest friend and my dad and all of that, and I want to be able to sit down and enjoy it. And so any of the criticisms and any of the stuff that I say is really just because I love it so much, and I'm like, come on, guys, like it can be better. For me, for the episode, I did like this episode. It kept my attention. It was entertaining. I definitely would say about a 7 out of 10. I think for me, it had a lot of the things that were there. It just, if we're taking it contextually with the whole season, it was one of the better ones. Um,
Yeah.
and you're right, it ended very well. And it honestly, I think I'm excited for season 4. But whether I'm excited to get away from this timeline or just to progress through Star Trek, I don't know yet. But for the season, unfortunately for me, this season was a miss. I'm gonna say it was about a 4 out of 10. I do know a lot of people worked very hard to make it happen. And again, like you said, I'm in no way trying to say that their work wasn't good enough. I just feel like there are things that were missing fundamentally that we've discussed in length on the podcast. And so definitely not my favorite season either. Same thing could be said as like House of the Dragon, right? I do a weekly podcast on House of the Dragon, and season 2 was terrible. But here we are, and we're doing it, and there's an audience for it. So
Bring on the dragons. That's what we
stay
need, more
to stay
dragons.
here. Yeah.
Space dragons. Bring on some space dragons in Star Trek.
Well, technically there was a space dragon. We just called it Space Mothra.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely not my favorite, but I mean, it was still Star Trek. You're right. We're still transporting things. There's still a holodeck. Shouldn't have been. There's still a medical bay. There's still phasers, communications, Vulcans. I mean, it's Star Trek. What do you want?
Yeah. 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 No, it's there. It's all there. It's just, we got to figure out, I don't know, we got to, I think less is, maybe not. I don't know if less is more here applies, but like, I think they try to do a lot in this season, and I think it just needs to like simplify it, right? We don't need like 7 B storylines going on. We don't need Brother Ortega for 6 episodes and Corby for 5 and Kirk and 8 and like I just, there's a lot of side characters that seem to take on
side characters.
Yeah, to take up a lot of our time, right? Like a lot of time for our main characters, and then when they do have a main character episode like they did last week, it was good, but it just felt like, why are we doing this now?
Yeah.
On the penultimate episode of the season, I feel like we should be leading into this episode to give it a lot more weight. So yeah, it's just interesting storytelling decisions that feel like could be easily just solved in a better writer's room and more planning and more thoughtfulness on how do we bring a compelling, full, like look at this as like an album, not just as individual songs, right? Like that's how we look at it, and and I think if we can do that and tie things together a little bit better, and I think and just really focus on our core 5, I think we'd be better for it. But I don't know. That's just my POV. But again, I'm looking. I haven't heard when season 4 is coming. I know.
No, I haven't either. I haven't really researched it either yet. I don't even know when production is. If it has started, if it hasn't, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think so. I follow Anson Mount on Instagram, I think.
Same.
Usually he's pretty good about promoting things. I haven't seen anything as far as like pre-production, and I haven't heard a date. So obviously, if they haven't started filming, we're at least 8 months away, if not more, from new episodes. So I know they're pretty. The Paramount's like launching, which maybe we'll do a podcast on the Starfleet Academy. Have you seen the trailer for that?
No, I have not.
Okay. Yeah, it looks interesting. It takes place in the 24th or whatever, or 5th, 6th century. Okay. I forget. The one that's in Discovery future timeline.
Got it.
And it's a Starfleet Academy. It's like they've rebuilt Starfleet Academy from the
super cool.
Kind of vibe. It looks interesting. It's got pretty good cast, and there's a lot of the trailer had like a in memoriam, or like a wall of like heroes, and it lists like all the names of like people from DS9, Voyager, and all the Star Trek we know. Oh. So it's kind of like, for nerds are always like, oh, I see that name. Oh, there's that guy. It's kind of like funny. People taking screenshots and posting it. So maybe we'll do a show on that. It looks cool. So that's probably the next thing we'll probably see from Star Trek, unfortunately. And I don't know if there was a launch date for that yet, but stay tuned. Hopefully, maybe you and me and Tim will be watching that, and then. But yeah, maybe in a year we'll be watching season 4, Stranger Worlds, and hoping for the best. Fingers crossed.
I don't know. I agree with you though. Like this is the midpoint of their 5 seasons, and I feel like we should be like really ramping up, and instead it's just kind of like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was surprised. I really was surprised. I'd be curious to see why. You know, like
yeah.
you know, like why such like the change in quality in a way, like or the change in just storytelling, I guess, in a way, because you can kind of explain it like in Discovery. The showrunner got fired like halfway through season 1,
right?
So you know why everything changed in season 1 while everything changed for the worse in a way, and so but I haven't seen anything, read anything behind the scenes that would give me a reason for why everything's so different, or not different, just not as polished or buttoned
good.
Up. Yeah, not as good. Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
Thank you all very much for being here. I think that's a good spot to go ahead and wrap it up. So, Drew, where can folks find you?
You can find me Couch Soup. Come to Couch Soup and come hang out with me and Michelle and Tim and all everybody on Watching Now is over there. We're an awesome little community of nerds, always nerding out on all things comics, film, TV, movies, video games.
Reality TV? No, I'm just kidding.
Reality TV. Yeah, we were just talking about reality TV earlier in the community on a call. Yeah, we Zoom hangs, AMAs, you name it, guys. Just come hang out with us. Go to couchsoup.com. Hit the become a member at the top of on your mobile browser. You know, hit the become a member and heck, join for free. Check it out. Hang out with us for a little while, and if you want to support, awesome. You know, you could support as low as like $5 a month. There's even a discount if you support yearly. Or you can support with more money if you want. Heck, well, we need it. We're just a group of independent people. There's no like holding company funding this. This is just us giving our time and our love and for the things we want to do and trying to make something really cool that we call Couch Soup. So go check it out, couchsoup.com, and come hang out.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. And my name is Michelle. I'm the community manager at Couch Soup. I run the AMAs and the Zooms. And what I was going to say is if you feel uncomfortable with like being on camera or meeting new people, you can still come join, turn your camera and mic off, never speak to us. There are several people who have done that. And you can just be part of the group and be there online with us and never say a word. And that's totally fine. Just absorb the nerd. It's great. Anyway, that's it for now. Let's continue to discover new life, new civilizations, and we will initiate shutdown sequence from here. Live long and prosper for the final freaking time, and keep it tuned into Couch Soup for more Star Trek goodness. Bye.
The final time. We'll be back. We'll be back.
Yeah, also, actually, now that you said that, we have a Alien Earth watching now also, and we have a Wednesday watching now that I just finished and put up, and keep it tuned here for more watching now goodness, because I don't know what's after that.
Yeah. No, we do have some cool things. We're probably going to do Stranger Things, but listen,
totally going to do Stranger Things.
Come to the community. And if you want to hear if you want to chime in on what we should be talking about next as TV shows, like come hang out and give us some ideas, because we'll make it. If people are like, hey, make this, do a review show on this show, do a Watching Now podcast on this show, do a YouTube show on this show, we'll probably do it. Like, just because, well, listen, we got nothing better to do with our time. I know Michelle doesn't. You know.
I don't know about that.
Oh, shit. I left the stove on. I'll be right back.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, there's gas escaping in my house.
Just kidding. No, absolutely. Come hang out and tell us what you want to, what we should talk about next, because we're always open to that. Or leave it in the comments on the YouTube channel, or just email me.
Anywhere.
I don't really care. Whatever.
Yeah, you can email. We have emails.
Yeah. I got that. Technology. Listen, my email, if I send an email out, I could fly 2 ships simultaneously.
Correct. I was going to say.
One inverted over the other.
What happens if you have 2 inboxes?
I can
Do they
sync
just
them.
work simultaneously?
I can sync them. I bet you I could send an email and it could go to 2 inboxes simultaneously. I don't know. Or I could mind meld those inboxes. Listen, I'll stop ragging on it. I'm sorry. Sorry, writers. Sorry.
No. I'm not doing the ending again. I'm not going to edit through it. Bye. Bye. Oh, you have to stop it. I don't have the power.
I'm trying to find the mouse. There it is. There.